Yeah, some big results on Boxing Day. Man City won 6-3 in a thriller at the Etihad against Leicester. Chelsea bounced back with a 3-1 win at Villa. Dazza, can anyone compete with Man City this season? Does it look like they're going to run away with it, or do you think Liverpool and Chelsea are still in the fight?
Look, I don't think anyone can compete with Manchester City. I think Liverpool are the closest team, but look, we've got African Cup of Nations coming up. They're going to lose some vital players, the ones that make them tick as well. So I watched Man City yesterday. I'd done a bit on TV, and I watched them on the highlights, and outstanding. And you know what it is? They played Manchester United a few weeks back. They got to 3-0. They kind of declared at 3-0, and then they just kept possession. And they seemed to do that at 4-0 after 25 minutes. Leicester surprisingly got back in the game with 3 goals, and Manchester City just said, "Right, we'll go again." And it's an incredible game, actually. Credit to Leicester, who made it quite a spectacle because the 3 goals. But Manchester City just looked like I heard you earlier, Cass, saying you think they'll go 10 points maybe clear. I agree with that. I think no one can compete.
Look, it's Liverpool fans and Chelsea fans will look and say, "Come on, Chelsea got Man City and Liverpool over in Jan." They play the both of them, and you think, yeah, you got to get big results. You've got to go to the Etihad. And I was at the game at Stamford Bridge where Chelsea were just blown away, and it was only 1-0.
Yeah.
But it was like you just touched on. It was like a 1-0, but it could have been way more. It was one of them games where Chelsea was a little bit fortunate, and Chelsea are a really good side.
Yep.
You
look at the defeats. Obviously, first game of the season, they weren't fit enough. They were off it and had a big break. So the Spurs come back, firing new manager, 1-0. They should have beaten Spurs as well. Although Spurs were okay, they did batter them. And Crystal Palace, they're down to 10 men. So the only way that teams seem to be able to compete is if they have a mistake in them, a 10 men, or like you said, not fit. But you've got Grealish, you've got Foden sat on the bench.
Well, talking about Grealish, I mean, he's been out the side now, and I think Guardiola wasn't happy with him potentially going out over the Christmas period and being professional off the pitch. How does he get back in this side?
It's very difficult. I mean, it's looking very difficult. Pep Guardiola,
for me, he's been brilliant.
Brilliant. But Pep Guardiola notoriously changes the teams around, even when they're winning. He's done that in the Champions League last year, just changed it.
Sterling came out of the blue to play in the Champions League final. And let's remember, Man City's wide men are continually changing.
Yeah.
That's why Leroy Sané went to Bayern.
Yeah.
Because so many wide players. David Silva retired, also didn't retire. He went back to Spain.
Yeah.
So that allowed Bernardo Silva. But he was in and out the team.
He was,
Mahrez has been in and out the team.
Yeah.
For wide men, I think it's really hard to be a permanent fixture in the Man City team as a wide man.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so good, aren't they? I mean, the way they play, it's just like, when I watch them, whatever side he puts out, Pep Guardiola, it's just, they're playing the same way. And we had this chat earlier, Cass, actually, they're probably a little bit underrated from set pieces as well, because, they score from set pieces. If you do go and try and press
last season
them,
as well, scored a lot.
Yeah,
good number.
Ederson can hit one 70, 80 yards to someone's toe, put you straight in on goal. So it's like they're the ultimate team. But just on Leicester, it's a disappointing result for them. I'd say it's been a disappointing season for them, really. Do you think he's under pressure, Rodgers?
I don't think he is. Now, you talk about when Ranieri was in charge, won the Prem, had a slow start, and ended up getting the sack. But I just think he's done so much. I heard the little debate you were having, and you talked about the chips that he's got. I agree with that. I think he's done so much. The FA Cup was one of... Leicester won the Prem, but the FA Cup seemed to be a bigger achievement. Because Leicester, everyone knew Leicester's actually a really good side, beating Chelsea in the final. The problem I have with Brendan Rodgers, I think he could start getting fed up. I think people talk about, can he become an elite manager? He's not yet. To be an elite manager, you've got to be an elite club, and he's not at an elite club at the moment.
It wasn't an elite club.
Though.
Yeah. Liverpool.
Was it? Well, he's at Liverpool.
Liverpool's an elite club.
When he was there? Were they elite when he was there? I'm not so sure.
Well,
I think they are now.
You had
Jurgen
Suarez,
Klopp's made them
Sturridge
elite
and
club.
Sterling as a forward line, and Gerrard in midfield.
Nearly won the league then.
They nearly
were
did,
very
but
close.
I think...
By the way, Darren, I wasn't trying to say that I think he should be sacked. I said Leicester as a club and where they've got themselves and the end of last season, that I don't believe it's as rosy in the garden as what a lot of people like myself on the outside think. No, he's okay. He's safe. I think Premier League football's taught us a lot in history over the number of years that you're vulnerable if you have bad runs.
I mean, I spoke about this before, Jay, and when is Leicester? When is their expectation on Leicester? Because they won the Prem a few years ago, they won the FA Cup last year. But if for a Leicester fan, we've got Hugo in the office that's a big Leicester fan. Everything seems to be, they're always happy. When they lose games, they're happy. Well, we won the Prem a few years ago, and people say the budget, of course, the wage structure is nowhere near some of the top elite clubs, and they can't go out and buy 60, 70 million pound players. However, they've got them on their books. For you to sell Tielemans, if you're selling Maddison, they're 70, 80 million pound players. So they've already got them in their side. So when is the expectation on Leicester that 10th, 11th place, that's not good enough?
What was Daka? What did they spend on Daka? Was it close to 40?
I'm not sure.
I think it was close to 40,
I'm not sure.
But you're right. It's never above 40, is it?
No.
I mean, Tielemans was close to that sort of deal as well, wasn't it?
Is Maddison 70?
At the moment, he's got a current form. He is. I mean, you look a few weeks ago, you'd say no, but he's really come to forefront. And yesterday, he was sensational in them 3 goals. He was fantastic, but he can dip in form, and that's probably the problem. That's why these big elite clubs are not coming in for him at the moment. If he continues this form, he'll be on the radar of some of the top clubs.
Talking about form, Lukaku come back into the side yesterday. He looked like the Lukaku that we all want to see. Are they still in the title race if he can stay fit?
They'll be there or thereabouts. Yeah, a few weeks ago I thought it's down to a 2-horse race. If they can keep Lukaku fit, I think they will. But you see a different side to Chelsea when he's in the team. With Havertz, with Ziyech up top, they're a bit lightweight. You have to try the intricate down the side to try and get them in. They know when Lukaku's on the pitch from his goal, just put the ball in an area, put the ball in the box. More often than not, he will compete. And if he gets on his goal scoring form, who knows? They seem to be the bully boys. They beat who they need to at the moment. Head-to-heads are massively important this season.
Just briefly, I know we're going to go to a break. I spoke to Callum Hudson-Odoi in the season for talkSPORT, and I asked him the Lukaku question about having someone to hit, and he said, I love having someone to hit. It's an easier ball for me.
Well, of course. I mean, as a midfielder, it's, when you've got someone you can play off, it's just like you can turn a channel ball into a great ball.
You can turn your form in a game into better form because you think all I have to do is put in an area and it looks like a good pass. More often than not, it isn't, but they get hold of it and you make runs off him.
Of course.
He's a big
player. It's essential to have a player like that in your side for me. I think, and they're a dying breed a little bit, Cass, you'd say, wouldn't they? Them big, sort of strong number 9s.
Well, them big lumps. Ace Casello was a midfielder.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Jamie,
all over the pitch, Cass, didn't you?
Well, it's just because he was so slow, I thought he was,
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods. Monday to Wednesday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.